In 1933, Germany was bankrupt. 6 years later, unemployment had vanished. Factories were roaring. The country that couldn't pay its debts was suddenly the fastest-growing economy in Europe. But the man who pulled off this miracle knew something everyone else didn't. It was never going to last. Let's rewind. When Hitler came to power in January 1933, Germany wasn't just struggling, it was on its knees. 6 million people were unemployed. That's almost a third of the workforce. Factories sat closed because there was no money to pay wages. The country had no international credit rating left, still crushed under war reparations from World War I. A decade earlier, Germans had literally burned money for fuel because it was worth more as firewood than as currency. So when Hitler promised to fix the economy, fast, Germany was desperate enough to believe anything. The problem? There was no money to do it with. This is where it gets interesting. Germany's central bank had strict legal limits on how much it could lend the government. And under the Treaty of Versailles, rearming the military was flat out illegal. So Hitler's economic minister, Hjalmar Schacht, built a workaround. He created a fake company. On paper only, no factory, no product, no real business. Just a name, MEFO. Here's how the scam worked. The government would order weapons and equipment from arms manufacturers. Instead of paying them in cash, it paid them in MEFO bills, basically IOUs backed by this shell company. Manufacturers could take these bills to any bank and get cash immediately, because the banks knew they could hand the bill to the central bank and get repaid. In effect, Germany was printing money to fund secret rearmament, without it ever showing up as government debt on the books. And there was one more trick to keep the whole thing from collapsing. The bills technically matured in 90 days, meaning they should have been cashed in and settled. Instead, the government just kept extending the deadline. Again. And again. By the end of the decade, that 90-day bill had been stretched out to 5 years. Nobody was ever meant to actually cash these in. As long as everyone kept pretending the debt would be paid eventually, the system worked. By 1938, roughly 12 billion Reichsmarks worth of these bills were floating around, money that officially didn't exist. With this hidden river of cash, the government went on a spending spree. Massive infrastructure projects broke ground, the Autobahns being the most famous, employing hundreds of thousands of workers. Rearmament factories reopened. A national labor service put young men to work on public projects, whether they wanted to or not. The unemployment numbers tell the story Hitler wanted the world to see. From around 6 million jobless in 1933, down to about 2 million by 1936, and eventually claimed as near zero by 1939. Germany looked like it had cracked the code. Growth rates the rest of Depression-era Europe could only dream of. Full employment. National pride restored. But here's the myth-busting part. Those unemployment numbers were quietly rigged. Women were pushed out of jobs and off the books. Jewish citizens were stripped of employment entirely and simply not counted. Young men doing compulsory labor service were classified as employed, even though it was closer to forced labor. The miracle wasn't just funded by hidden debt. It was measured by a hidden asterisk. So if the growth was fake and the debt was hidden, what happens when the bill finally comes due? That's where the second half of this story gets dark. By 1938, even Schacht, the man who invented this whole scheme, was terrified of what he'd built. The MEFO bills were reaching their limits. Billions in debt were maturing, and holders wanted to be paid. Schacht tried to slow rearmament down and stabilize the finances. Hitler said no. Full speed ahead. Schacht resigned from his post soon after, and without his restraint, Germany kept borrowing, kept spending, kept printing, with foreign currency reserves draining fast and no real plan for how to pay any of it back. By early 1939, the economy wasn't a miracle anymore. It was a countdown. This is the part most people miss. The invasion of Poland in September 1939 wasn't just a military decision. It was, in part, an economic one. A war economy could keep printing money and pointing to national emergency as the excuse. More importantly, conquest meant something Germany desperately needed, new resources that didn't have to be paid for. As German forces swept through Europe, occupied countries were systematically stripped. Food, raw materials, factories, labor, all funneled back to the Reich, partly to keep German civilians fed and the illusion of prosperity alive even during wartime. In Western Europe, occupation was almost businesslike, production continued, just redirected to serve Germany. In Eastern Europe, it was pure plunder. Resources were seized, populations devastated, and the local economies didn't just decline, they were deliberately destroyed. The hidden debt from the 1930s had become a machine that could only keep running by consuming other countries. As the war dragged on, the cracks became canyons. The economy shifted entirely into war production. Consumer goods vanished. Forced labor, millions of people from occupied territories, was pulled in to keep factories running as German men were sent to the front. By the final years of the war, Germany was running not on financial engineering anymore, but on raw plunder and slave labor, just to keep the machine breathing. And when the military front finally broke in 1945, there was no economy left to catch the fall. Cities were rubble. Currency was worthless. The miracle that started with a fake company and a stack of unpaid bills ended with total, complete economic ruin, a debt that was, in the end, paid in the worst way imaginable. So, was it ever really a miracle? No. It was a loan Germany could never repay honestly. A loan disguised as growth, hidden behind a shell company, and eventually cashed in through war and plunder. The lesson isn't really about Germany in the 1930s. It's about what happens any time growth is built on debt nobody can see, and the bill always comes due. History and money are more connected than most people realize, and we dig up stories like this every week. If this kind of thing fascinates you, hit subscribe, and let us know in the comments which economic miracle we should fact check next.